Welcome into the Daily Dish. I'm Joey Wagner. He's Derek Piper. We're going to continue our Illinois basketball player preview focus. This one is an in-state win, a quote-unquote, an incoming freshman, Ty Rodgers, who moved to the state of Illinois for his senior year. I don't know if you want to count that, Derek, but it was a big win after he moved here from Michigan. Ty Rodgers, man, this guy does a lot of things really well. He looks physically ready right now to walk on the State Farm Center floor and hold his own. He's a guy who I think is going to give Illinois a lot of versatility in terms of what he's able to do. Derek, what do you see out of Ty Rodgers as a freshman?
I think back on the in-state note, I think it carries more weight when you call him a Michigan recruit. Like going into Sparty territory and Tim Anderson in his first year as an assistant, being able to pull him out of the grasp of the in-state programs there in Michigan. I know that the Wolverines were involved, and Sparty was a big player and really, really wanted him. But Illinois to land him, as you're talking about his versatility, he's able to be a high-level defender who can guard multiple positions. He moves really well for being a 6'6", kind of big-bodied forward. And offensively, he's very, very skilled. Like he can handle the ball. He passes well. Like that was one thing I saw him during the high school season. And his passing, just the way he sees the floor and gets other teammates involved was something that really stood out. I know that the staff is even, Brad's comped him to a Draymond Green, kind of that point forward role. So I think that's something that is certainly in his future. We might even see some of that early on as a freshman for him. Ability to also go to the rim because he is athletic, he is strong, he can take the ball to the basket and certainly finish there. The jump shot is always the thing that we come back to and say needs to get better, and that is certainly the case when you talk about his three-pointer and even just guys leaving kind of that mid-range open for him, knowing that he hasn't been super willing to want to take that shot. And honestly, it's kind of some guys don't have to take jump shots in high school because they can do so many other things well. So we'll see how that progresses, but he's a Swiss Army knife type of player that can you slot him in 2 through 4 and defend multiple positions, play different positions on the floor, and a lot to be excited about. You had the story. I mean, a guy that's going to the USA basketball camp.
That's something else. Here's the thing, Derek. Ty Rodgers knows people question his shooting offensively. I think he's a guy who's probably not going to forget that. But the questions are fair. I mean, we just haven't seen that part of his game. But the thing with him, defensively, that's going to get him on the floor in a lot of circumstances. I think it's going to help him at this Team USA basketball training camp. I think it's going to help him at Illinois. You see in high school, Derek, when you got the star, the kid who can do everything, and maybe defense is kind of like, I don't know, right? Not with him, man. He is a very intense dude on that side of the ball. And he's able, because he's 6'6", because he's looks pretty strong, he looks ready, he's quick, like he's able to guard the 4, the 3. Could you put him out there on the 2? Like, I think that is something you're going to probably feel like Brad Underwood's going to revere him in a lot of the ways he did DeMonte Williams. I think that's kind of, I don't want to go the Draymond Green step yet. DeMonte feels about where I'm thinking, freshman year, but that defense, man, that's going to play at Illinois, and it's going to play into the heart of Brad Underwood. I'm almost sure of it.
Absolutely. Brad's always talked about defense being what earns the opportunities early for freshmen. If he is a little antsy or just untrustworthy of a guy on defense, he's not going to play him. And I don't think that's something that's going to be questioned at all out of Ty Rodgers right away because he lives for that end of the floor. I mean, you wrote a story about it back in the fall, just the way that he approaches that end of the floor and how competitively driven he is to try to just stop the guy that he's guarding. Not only, he wants to guard the best player on the floor, like every single time, every possession matters to him. So that's the type of competitor that he is. He moves his feet really well for a guy that's kind of that big bodied forward at 6'6", and he's got a long wingspan as well. So I just think that and it'll be interesting to see the way that Illinois adjusts this play style, but we talked about it a little bit with Chester Frazier, and I know that you can see kind of how he's been tweeting through NCAA tournament and the NBA playoffs, like switchability, versatility on defense. I think that Ty certainly fits into that and helps Illinois be more versatile, more athletic on the perimeter.
I want to circle back finally, Derek, here to his passing ability, his playmaking ability, because as we look, we've talked about this at length. Illinois, you could make an argument they need another guard, somebody who can facilitate, somebody who can handle the ball. And I think Ty Rodgers, we talked to Chester and we said, you got 3 guards. And he said, oh, we got 4 guards. And he included Ty Rodgers in that mix. And I think, I don't know how much that will alleviate how far Illinois gets in the portal looking for another guard. But I think you have to take that in some capacity into consideration for what he's able to do as a passer. I mean, this isn't just like, oh, he's a big guy and he passes well for a big guy. Like he is a genuinely a very good passer, a very comfortable passer, and a very willing passer. And I think I don't know. I wonder how much that plays into what they look for as they fill out the final few spots on this roster.
Yeah, I think what's great about him, you see some forwards, even big men who are good passers. They're usually stagnant. They're usually guys that catch a pass, and then if there's cutting action, or they're not going to move from that spot, but they can find the open man. Ty's a guy that in transition has shown the ability to push the ball. I think in the half court he could make some dribble moves to really create an angle, create a breakdown in the defense to then have someone come open and make that pass. So he's someone that is capable of handling it to then also play into his passing. But as I was saying, I think that his vision's fantastic. I think that he sees things that are starting to break down within a defense, or just kind of sees openings to then have a pass come through. And he's got great touch. I mean, even the skip ahead passes in transition that I've seen him find guards that are streaking down the floor and they're on point. That's certainly been exciting with him. We should mention, because Brad's throwing out the Draymond comp, I was intrigued what Draymond did as a freshman at Michigan State. 11 minutes per game, 3 points, 3 rebounds, 1 assist. I mean, that wouldn't certainly be out of the question for a Ty Rodgers. I think that in that second rotation, he's going to be a guy that gets at least double-digit minutes and is going to be able to contribute in a handful of different ways.
That's the last thing I wanted to ask you about is where do we see him? Because we think there could be a little more help at guard. We think there could be a little more help at center at the 4 position, but it feels like there's a lot of wings. When you talk about a Coleman Hawkins, an RJ Melendez, a Terrence Shannon, a Luke Goody, now you have a Ty Rodgers. What can we expect from him reasonably in terms of how frequently he plays as a freshman?
I think we'll have a chance to get double-digit plus minutes. I don't think he'll play anything above, that 15-minute range. I think that him and Luke Goody could be in competition for some minutes. Not that there's not enough room for both of them to be able to play, but behind Terrence, behind RJ and Coleman, I think what's great about Ty with his versatility, his ability to slide to different spots, and the fact that he's going to defend. Now, I think also his jump shot is going to have something to say about how many minutes he'll be on the floor as a freshman, because as we talk about floor spacing, as we talk about being able to do the type of things they want to do offensively, he's got to be at least a scoring threat with his jump shot. If teams are, as Brad says, dorking him and leaving him and he's not able to make those shots, that could be something that's tough to live with. He's going to be on the floor at least 8 to 12 minutes a game in my estimation, and be able to, I mean, he's not going to be a high level scorer or anything, but he's someone that you're going to look at a box score one night, he'll play 15 minutes and have 5 points, 4 rebounds, couple steals, and couple assists. I think that he's got that ability.
Brad Underwood calls them winning plays, and I feel like Ty Rodgers has a good amount of those. We will cover it all here at IlliniInquirer.com.